Oh boy, everyone. I've got some good news for you guys, and this is mostly just going to be a talking segment. We're not going to be watching much, but I want to talk about some things. You see, a couple weeks ago, a big event went down. A guy named, presumably, allegedly, Luigi, um, allegedly shot the United Healthcare CEO on the streets of Manhattan. And despite this being a broad moonlight murder, the entire country's response, left, right, and center, has been mostly either ambivalent or outright positive towards the killer. People are, in fact, willing to martyr and make a hero out of this killer, left and right. And I don't really think this is so much a sign that Americans are getting more violent or bloodthirsty or whatever. I think it's just really a sign of the fact that Americans do not like our current healthcare system. The idea of paying a monthly subscription, basically, in order to have a safety net for potential healthcare problems or health problems that you might not even know you have, say, a pre-existing condition. It's thanks to the ACA that, like, healthcare in this country isn't 100 times worse than it already is. If Trump had succeeded in nuking Obamacare, if you think healthcare in America is bad now, it was going to get far worse. But people don't like it. People do not like our current system of health coverage in this country. I think we're getting towards the boiling point where more people would rather pay a bit more in taxes to have guaranteed free healthcare without having to pay much out of pocket, or at least extremely cheap healthcare, I should say, over being willing to pay for insurance. Insurance is expensive. You hope to never have to use it. It's an expensive thing you have to pay for that you hope to never use. And frankly, the insurance companies hope that you never use it, and that's why they try to find any excuse possible to get out of paying you a claim and giving you coverage. For the most part, though, they follow through, at least from my understanding, but the having to pay, the making billionaires out of people who are making all this money off of our health, it's just, Americans do not like people in that position of power, especially not at the top of the healthcare industry in America. And so, the people have basically made this a line drawn in the sand between those that are in the ruling class and those that are in the working class, or those that are normal people. They don't even say working class. If you are a normal, everyday American, you have no sympathy for the CEO who was shot. But if you demonize the shooter, most people seem to be interpreting that as an immediate tell that your priorities are in backing up the interest of the wealthy. Now, two people who are in quite large positions of power that decided they were going to throw their hat in the ring and try and attack this shooter, the guy who took out the CEO, and defend the CEO are Ben Shapiro and Matt Walsh of the Daily Wire. Now, the Daily Wire has been for years now a titan of right-wing media, a genuine titan. They reach millions of people across numerous figures that speak on their platforms, and they're like, they for a while I thought they were unstoppable, genuinely. For instance, Brett Cooper, in a span of 2 years, blew up to, like, what, 6 million subscribers? They know how to find that talent, and they know how to push that talent out in a way that makes these figures impossible to fail. And so I genuinely thought that the Daily Wire is going to be an issue that we have to contend with for maybe decades going into the future. But lately, their talking points have slipped up substantially. You see, Ben Shapiro recently put out a video in which he demonizes the guy who took out the CEO shooting. In fact, he put out 2 videos, and they both got massively ratioed. I actually have covered it already. The evil revolutionary left cheers murder. Take some guesses on what the ratio on this video looks like. The comments are not pretty. Same goes for a shocking targeted attack, and the left celebrates. He tried twice, not only to frame the left as pro-murder, but to do it in such a way that the right is in favor of. Just letting the mask slip while also letting a takeout that his fans don't agree with. And mind you, these are people whose entire career is centered around audience capture. They have to say what their audience wants to hear. Anytime they say something that's the truth and their audience doesn't agree with it, they failed at doing their job. And so he failed at doing his job here. I know he just gets his talking points from the higher-ups at the Daily Wire and that little earpiece you can see in the thumbnails of both these videos, that little red earpiece in his right ear. But yeah, they very much missed the mark on that. And of course, Matt Walsh did the same thing. If we go back to, what was it, like 10 days ago? It's crazy how the title is the same thing as Ben Shapiro's as well, if I'm not mistaken. Did he take the video down? He may have taken the video down. He's shameless enough to have taken the video down. Oh, here it is, okay. Why the left is really celebrating the murder of a CEO. Once again, the comments aren't pretty. And since then, the videos are certainly alright, but they're kind of worse. Like, especially for videos that you'd expect would pull 500,000+ views, his views are very much fluctuating for a 3.13 million sub channel. You know, like, it seems like... I wouldn't necessarily say... And the same goes for Ben, obviously. If we go over to Ben's videos, you can see that since then, some things have popped off pretty well. Like, obviously, he goes, like, you know, covering some really big news with the fall of Assad regime. But overall, like, obviously, here's him getting ratioed even more, no doubt, unless he goes back on all this negative stuff he said about the shooter. Same probably goes for here. The media is justifying violence by calling Brian Thompson evil. Yeah, he continues to double down, and since then, his numbers have been, oh my god. Trump is named Times Person of the Year, gets less than 100,000 views. That is crazy. This one gets 50,000 views. Less than 50,000 views. Less than 50,000, less than 50,000, and obviously this is only 4 hours old, but 13,000 views. I think while these videos won't have killed their channels, I think that a lot of their fans will have had their eyes open to the fact that these guys aren't they aren't everymen who are just, like, speaking to you like any other guy about your issues, the things that concern you. Like, they're corporate stooges. Let's look at the comment section channel with Brett Cooper. Have you noticed anything about the channel since Brett left? I kept saying this for years and years, that Brett was a completely false personality. She was just a face, reading off talking points that were fed to her by corporate overlords. She left. Which one was it? I think it was this one. Was her final video. And now her friend... Or no, this was her final video. And now her friend has fully taken her place. The fans of the comment section, which has now, like, it's her friend, what's her name, Reagan or whatever. Reagan has taken over. They have lost, like, the viewership is not good now. Like, it's not good. Her final Brett Cooper's final video pulls 1 million views. 2 hours ago, this video's got 30,000. That is not good. Apparently, they've trained her to act like Brett Cooper. Like, her mannerisms are exactly like Brett Cooper. Let's take a look at this newest video.
Welcome to a new chapter of the comment section, and I am your new host, Reagan Conrad. Now,
She's been trained to imitate Brett Cooper. The fans don't like it. They noticed. The fans of Brett Cooper in the comment section, many of them didn't even know it was a Daily Wire product. Many of them didn't know she was in an office studio for the Daily Wire. She's skinwalking Brett Cooper, who wasn't even a genuine character in the first place, but now people who are fans of this channel, A, are leaving because Brett Cooper's gone, and she's the one that they were there for, and B, they're noticing that the comment section as a brand was only ever this idea that they had paid someone to act as like the figurehead of. I think we are seeing the pivotal first steps needed for the Daily Wire to fall. It will destroy itself. We're at the point now where the only thing that can destroy the Daily Wire is itself. And I think these are the pivotal steps needed to do so. Look at how much she's skinwalking Brett Cooper here, dude.
Some of you are probably asking, who is this chick? Where is Brett? What is going on? And those are all very valid questions. So before we get into today's episode, I want to just recap a few things with you all. Now, many of you have known me as producer Reagan. I've been working on this show for almost...
The weird, like, do I need to do that? Do I need to set up, like, multiple cameras and have, like, a random timer that switches angles at, like, random intervals? She wasn't even looking at that other camera as if, like, a light switched and she was supposed to look over at that camera. Like, that would make sense. Like, if you had, like, 3 cameras and, like, a light would switch to the other camera and it would just, the camera would switch, and as it did, I would turn my head to that camera and it would just give another angle. Like, I can see why that would be cool. I've seen that in prepared videos and it comes off as cool. But here it just comes off as, like, weird. Maybe on a very surface level to viewers, it comes off as high production value, but as a YouTuber, I know how easy that is to set up, and it feels like a really lazy, cheap way to make your videos look high production value.
3 years now. I started with Daily Wire fresh out of college with a...
Not to mention the zooms and the cuts are necessary to keep low IQ viewer retention.
A journalism degree, and a resume full of social media work. And prior to applying here, I was listening to Ben Shapiro and Matt Walsh and Michael Knowles literally every day because they were the voices...
I'm so sorry.
Online echoing my thoughts and my values and my beliefs. So
let's see the comments section of the comments section. Clicks on video, pauses, checking comments. Moment of silence for Brett Cooper. The show finally lives up to the name because without Brett, all I am doing is looking at the comment section and not the video. This is how I felt when Steve from Blue's Clues went to college. Oh my god, that's a deep cut reference. Not really deep cut, but an old one. I'm just here for the comments. Imagine they replaced Matt Walsh with a guy that had the same voice and mannerisms as Matt. They should. You should have got Ben Shapiro to wear some ripped jeans, oversized sweater, and headphones, and do his best Brett Cooper impression for the intro. 10% of the comment section. I'm just here for the comments. 90% of the comment section. Brett Cooper! Crying emoji. Audience, can we have Brett Cooper? Daily Wire. We have Brett Cooper at home. The only reason I clicked on this video is to look at the comments. Reagan, the best thing that you can do for the show is to be yourself and not try to be Brett. Brett is as if she's allowed to do what she wants. Brett is really awesome at being Brett. Nobody else needs to be Brett. You need to be Reagan. Give us Reagan and let us all fall in love with your style like we did hers. I wish they got completely different set and new channel for Reagan. I can still see Brett in this set, even though they changed it. It was never a set that I love how these people have genuinely fell for the Daily Wire branding. They built a set that never reflected Brett Cooper's interest or anything. It's just a bunch of random, like drop-shipped bullshit they filled the background with so it would look like a nice background that might be someone's bedroom. They specifically gave her a setup that looked like she was streaming or recording from, like, a gaming setup in a bedroom, as opposed to Matt Walsh, Andrew Clavin, and Ben Shapiro, who are all sitting at desks in what are very obviously, like, professional sets. Hers was made to be more personal and thrown together, like she's just sort of, she's a ragtag fighter in the culture war type deal, when she's really a multi-million-dollar corporation-backed, astroturfed asset for the right. And people are realizing it now. It was really funny. Before they announced that Reagan would be taking her place, the main cover of the channel was a blank pair of headphones, because their branding is just woman with headphones talking about things being woke. And so they just had a blank profile picture with a pair of white headphones and it became the comments section. That's what it's called now, just the comments section. I doubt they're ever going to have a name attached to this now from here on out. They're probably going to try to bring in multiple hosts and, like, run a rotation to see who does the best in terms of response from the fans. What they're identifying as Brett is in fact just Daily Wire corporate branding that they fell in love with because Brett was the face of that branding. Exactly. And now they're seeing another person do exactly what Brett was told to do, and they're like, wait, this is disingenuous. It was always disingenuous, though. I hope they start to realize that it was never genuine. I can't wait for the How I Left the Right videos in the future where they talk about how they got addicted to Brett Cooper videos and they realized that she was fake. I cannot wait to hear those stories. They're gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Those stories are going to come out. Those videos are gonna be a thing. It's just a matter of time, and I'm just sitting here eagerly waiting for that to go down, you know? Anyway. With all that said, I think we are watching the beginning of the end of the Daily Wire. I hope to God I'm right. Anyway, guys, if you enjoyed this segment, please consider leaving a like. Every thumbs up really goes a long way to help me in the algorithm, as do comments, so like and comment if you want to help me the most. It's totally free and means a ton. Sub and ring the bell icon if you haven't already to turn on all notifications so that YouTube actually tells you whenever I go live or upload new videos on the channel, because of course if you don't, you gotta keep in mind that they won't. Believe me, they won't. And of course, if you want to see more from me on other platforms, consider following my social medias linked down below in the description, including my Blue Sky and my fan Discord. I'm pretty active there, of course, on both those platforms, and my Discord's the main pillar of my community. I even host weekly events there, such as call-in streams, gaming events, and watch parties. So I hope to see you there. I do them on Fridays, by the way. And of course, finally, if you want to support me directly, you can afford it and you feel like it, then please consider donating, subscribing, or gifting a sub on my website, xanderhall.com/live, or supporting me financially through YouTube, Twitch, Streamlabs, StreamElements, Patreon, or buying merch through the Streamlabs link down below. Regardless of how you support me, though, I really do appreciate it. It really does mean a lot. And thank you all so much for watching, as always. Have a good one.